I'm sorry I keep saying I told you so. But I told you so. Hope Taiwan is listening. Hope Taiwan's paying attention, Zoya. Taiwan is rejecting the United States. Taiwan's sentiment had changed because they seen what happened in Ukraine. I told you guys at the beginning of the counteroffensive that if they go ahead with this counteroffensive, they are doomed. They are fucked. But the United States in the West needed a win to show to the people because they send all this billions of dollars to Ukraine. So you need to show a win for us so we can give something to our people so we can continue this money laundering scheme. So they said there's going to be a counteroffensive. We heard that in the media weeks before it happened, months before it happened. They said there's going to be a Ukrainian counteroffensive. And Ukraine was like, what? A what? And then in the West was like, we said there's going to be a Ukrainian counteroffensive coming. Ukraine like, what are you talking about? We getting our ass kicked. We have a hard time finding soldiers. The West, we said there's going to be a counteroffensive. Then Ukraine was like, oh, damn. All right. We got to do a counteroffensive. We're going to keep this gravy train running. I promise you guys, that is exactly what happened. The West forced these motherfuckers to go on this counteroffensive. I told you guys this over a year ago. Like, this shit they're fucked. And after the counteroffensive is over, you're going to see Ukraine start to deteriorate. So once the counteroffensive fails, you got to blame someone. What went wrong? Is Zelensky going to take personal responsibility? You guys think Zelensky, the egotistical maniac, is going to take responsibility for the failed counteroffensive? Nope. This is where Zelensky come in. The general that he's throwing under the bus for this failed counteroffensive. So he fired one of the most popular generals in Ukraine. Zelensky? I struggle to say that. Zelensky. Zoya, you here to help me out. I know who I'm talking about. I just have a hard time saying his name. But he's a very popular general in Ukraine. So Zelensky decided to throw him under the bus. And that's a horrible decision that only an amateur politician like Zelensky will make. Remember, this guy is not an experienced wartime politician. This was a horrible move by Zelensky. When I heard it was going on, I was like, bro, what? This is going to end horrible. And it end as horribly as I thought it would. So here's a protest. We're going to end our long segment. That's my preface. I'm going to get Zoya to take on it.
And just a little context also, that there were rumors of this happening and a lot of speculation, but it didn't actually take place. Victoria Nuland paid a visit to Ukraine. So this is a move by the U.S., 100%. Zelensky doesn't make any decisions in the Ukraine.
Yeah, this is the video of the protest. People furious, and they're calling for the resignation. I'll just read the description. Zelensky, get out. In Kyiv, people have gathered on Maidan demanding the return of Zelensky. God damn it. In the resignation of Zelensky. I wonder how many of these people watched the Tucker Putin interview. That's a great point. Let's watch this. Actually, let's see what this is, the original source. Yeah, Zelensky, get out. Yeah, so I just want to make sure. And key people are gathered on the Maidan demanding the return of Zelensky and resignation of Zelensky. So here's the video. So we are witnessing the beginning of the end for Ukraine. It's been over. It's been checkmate. You see the smarter people, the smartest among the NATO left, the Western countries, they are desperately looking for an exit ramp. That's why you even see conversations about a settlement here. The dumbest among us, like Boris Johnson, they're still going all in. The dumbest among us, like Joe Biden, they're still all in. The smartest among the people who decide to go with the disaster Ukraine proxy war, they're trying to find an exit ramp. So Zoya, I passed for you for last words because I promised I was going to keep this short. So Zoya, feel free to take the floor. Anything you want to add to this, and what it seems to be the downfall of Zelensky, which we all knew was coming, but it's happening right now. Any last thoughts, Zoya?
Yeah, it's gonna be a long rant, so maybe
Feel
pack a
free.
bowl.
Feel free. Floor is yours.
I hate to speculate, and I really don't know if Zelensky's going to be removed right now or later. He definitely doesn't have a future in Ukraine. It's only a matter of time. That's a certainty we can observe. But when they're going to do that, I have no idea. The puppet strings are being pulled by monsters like Victoria Nuland and the CIA. Poon alluded to this. We have witnessed it happen. We have hot mics from Victoria Nuland herself. So again, we see another puppet figure. And I don't like to focus on puppet figures because we have, for accurate analysis, we have to figure out who's actually doing this. Now, Poon is being framed as someone who illegally launched this operation, but actually, what Putin has said in his other speeches, which I recommend Americans go look up more of his speeches, even if you hate him, just to inform yourself straight from the horse's mouth. So when they say Russia invaded Ukraine, it's a distortion of facts. It's actually gaslighting. On the contrary, Russia's invasion in Donbass or intervention in Donbass is lawful per the UN Charter. Charter 1 UN self-determination outlines this. And Poon was very deliberate in following the UN law to the T so that he can call out Western hypocrisy. Because there's a bigger geopolitical picture to consider here. And this is beyond just what's happening in Ukraine, obviously. China, BRICS, all of these forces that are rising in the world, they're the real threat. And we know that this was really about trying to weaken Russia. They just simply didn't succeed. And Russia was able to turn everything around into a victory. The economy is booming. They overtook Germany as the fifth largest economy in the world in purchasing power parity. And I'm glad that Poon corrected Tucker on China, because China and Russia, and this is fundamental to understand, they are acting in the best interests of their people, as leaders should, but they operate in a mentality of negotiating and compromising with respect towards the leaders of other countries. And we really underestimate the power of BRICS. With Saudi Arabia and Russia, they control something like 30% of the world's oil reserves. Once you add in all of the BRICS countries, it's over 50%. This is the real threat. The real reason we're in Ukraine is BRICS. The real threat, is the end of U.S. hegemony and the dollar using its value and its power. And for those who really hate Russia, I don't know if I'm going to blow some Republican minds right now, but I urge all of you to remember that as the American Civil War raged on, who came to the Americans' aid? It was Russia. In 1863, the Russian Navy's Baltic and Pacific fleets also wintered in the American ports of New York and San Francisco. So Russia backed up America. I'm not sure if you guys would have an America without Russia's backing. Maybe that's an overstatement, but regardless, you were more than happy to take aid from Russia when it suited you. And now you paint Russia as a monster. And that's only because they are a threat to your power. It's a complete disgrace and inaccuracy. And on a final note, I always like to lead us back into organizing, because pointing out all of the things going wrong in the world can be depressing and leave people feeling hopeless. And that's not what I want. And I know that's not what RBN wants, because they're actually putting boots on the ground, organizing, getting people water and diapers, and doing things that impact people materially. So that is something that I want people who identify themselves as leftists to all start doing. There was some recent controversy. I don't know if you saw it, Nick, but a friend of mine, Kieran, who's been on RBN, posted that leftists all need to start working out, exercising, learning self-defense. And famously, there's a quote, about taming the mind and savaging the body. We will not be able to achieve any kind of change without self-care and discipline. Where your love towards your community starts is with love towards yourself. So you have to self-care, you have to get yourself into shape, and you have to stop making excuses not to do any of these things and reach out to your community. There is no one coming to save you. Things are progressively getting worse, and we are in the belly of the beast where we can have the most impact on geopolitical outcomes. So get out of your chairs. Even if you're someone without the ability to do so, there's always work for you to do, whether it's flyers or graphics or phone calls. There's always a task. There's always a way that you can contribute. But the bottom line is that we can bitch about this online until we're all in the grave and watching this world burn. What we need to do is actually stand up in our communities, reach out to our neighbors, start forming tenant organizations where you can leverage things against your landlord, learn solidarity, organize your workplace, join a mutual aid. There are endless things you could do that in your lifetime will impact your situation locally. The phrase think globally, act locally, this is what we all have to do. None of you are going to get on a direct flight to Ukraine or Palestine or Somalia. So let's do what we can. And by the way, I also want to mention that there are 6 million dead in the Congo. I'm glad that the Palestine issue has caught fire and people's attention, and finally people are protesting. But make no mistake, genocides have been raging on for decades, and there are more that you don't hear about than the ones you do. And none of them are small, and none of them are meaningless. So we still have comrades in Haiti and all across the world that are counting on us to do this. So it might be hard, and I don't want to be insensitive, and I don't want anyone to feel left out. I do not care if you identify as a Republican, a liberal, or any other label that the establishment has invented simply to divide us. Start talking to people. I know from canvassing that you can change minds and hearts because we all care about the same thing. We all want healthcare. We all want clean water. We all want education for our children. Find common ground, do what you can, and leave this world better than you found it.
Zoya's love, Zoya's life. Not even going to try to follow that. Not even going to try. How can you? Zoya's too powerful. Hope you guys enjoy the stream. Now you guys see why we love Zoya here at RBN.